WTFWOTW.
With Rudii Rue.
Your love for hip hop is evident in your flow as a poet. Why did you just stop at one rap album?
I never had a rap album.
Wasn't The Death of Willie Lynch an album?
It was an album, but I guess it was me rhyming, but...
The question can be rephrased to, why didn't you make a real rap album?
Because that was never my thing. Like, I like to rhyme for fun. I know I let the bars go. I got Best of the Booth on Rap City in 2009. You know, I got the hip hop quotable in the source. I know I let the bars go. I don't brag about many things, but how I write them words down on paper and stitch them together is one of the things that I can brag about. But spoken word is my thing. It's something about having the complete attention of the audience with no beat, none of that part of showmanship involved, because there is showmanship involved.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a snob about poetry. So if you don't, there's certain intentions that you have to have for me to be a dope poet. Like when you get up on the mic, you have to have the intention of entertaining. You have to have the intention of enlightening. The artist in me won't let me get up on stage and flop. There's a purity in it that's not necessarily in, I know I can rhyme, but I have more fun rhyming when it's just kind of on the fly and it doesn't come out, it doesn't resonate the same.
So can you briefly share either a fond memory or a funny experience you had while meeting one of your heroes or a colleague you admired? I know you got stories, the condensed version though.
All right. So the first time I met Rakim, until Tyreek's freestyle on Funk Flex, Rakim had the #1 spot.
He was the god.
He's the god. He's the god. First time I met Rakim was at a old school joint in Philly. We were in like the green room. I wasn't starstruck, but I was at a loss for words. I couldn't damn, you peace God. I just it was just, and I've never been starstruck around. I've been around some what people would think were superstars, and I've just never been starstruck. Rakim, I was starstruck, and he says he tells me he a fan of me, and which floored me, this, that, and the other. But he has a bodyguard. He has this cat that runs with him, running with him forever, and he is like a monster. And so somebody decided that they was going to take his Moet out his dressing room. And the security cat saw that. So I'm sitting there like talking to Rakim, and my man Bayat, is a North Philly like hustler cat. He was there. So I'm talking to Bayat and talking to Rakim, and out of nowhere, his bodyguard knocks this guy out like cold, one hitter quitter, bop, and he flops over the pool table.
Oh, sure.
And Rakim was like, yo, B, what's up, B? Like just super cool. Like he didn't even react like, what the fuck? But he was like, yo, B, like what, and his man was like, this nigga just tried to steal the God's champagne. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody steal from the God. And the guy was like laid out knocked out on the pool table. And I was kind of like, damn, I don't even know how to continue this conversation because you obviously have some aggressive people with you. And I don't want to disrespect you now. So that was one that was like awkward, right? And then there was like a real fan. I was doing some writing with Will Smith years ago, and he had flew me in, and and we was at his house, and he was showing me out. He showed me around the house, and which is fucking phenomenal. And then we go into his studio, and I was like, listen, for a couple, I just need you to let me get this off my chest, So he was like, what? I was like, oh shit. I said, so I got up and I did the Getting Funky dance, because that was one of the things that shaped my career. It shaped my artistry. There was a point where I went to I think it was the Philly Fresh Fest. Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince were like the opening act. And they had this routine on Getting Funky. You should have seen the people dancing and shaking and moving.
You should have seen the people dancing and shaking and moving and jumping and spinning and clapping.
Blew my mind.
So you did the dance in front of him?
I literally got up in front of Will. I said, you got to let me do this. And I did that shit in front of him. He said, yo, I can't believe you know that whole shit.
Okay, so, but you didn't fuck the dance up. You just...
No, not at all. Not at all. No? It's been embedded in my head since the first time I saw it.
So he was impressed?
He laughed crazy. It was, and the whole thing was, I said, so I did that. Then I said, I got to apologize. Right before I had went to his house, I went to Brentwood Mall because I'm thinking that I had to wear some old Hollywood shit. I went to Brentwood Mall and I spent like $2,200 on an outfit. Like
That same day?
I bought a pair of jeans that cost like $900, t-shirt that was like $600.
He greeted you in some Hanes sweats.
He had the t-shirt he had on looked like it was balled up in the corner of his bedroom, and he picked it up and put it on, and some raggedy Levi's. And he was the coolest cat I've ever met in the industry is Will Smith.
Dope.
The coolest, the absolute coolest, like most down to earth was Will. And so I said, I got to apologize because, you know, I came here. I said, I went to the mall and I spent like $2,200, $2,300 on this outfit. And I'm here and you got like, I said, you super cool, nigga. Like, only other industry couple I'd ever been around was Russell and Kimura, and Kimura will like chew you out if you got the wrong shit on. So I said, man, I gotta apologize. He said, well, why you apologize? I said, cause I was fronting, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I came here. I came here thinking I had the front, you know what I mean? So, and it was funny because he was like, man, that's the realest shit nigga ever said to me. So that was one of the, like, those are my two moments. I mean, I've had several other moments.
The show is only 40 minutes. But
Yeah.
you just brought up Russell. So how did you connect with Russell and the whole Deaf Poetry platform?
I was winning a competition that was happening at Soul Cafe in New York that was ran by Danny Simmons, Russell's older brother. Mm-hmm. And at the time they were pitching the idea of deaf poetry to Russell and Stan. So they had this, I was winning this competition. So Danny asked me to stop being in the competition and open up for the featured poets that were going to be this final pitch to HBO. And so the featured poets were like Steve Coleman, Jessica Care Moore, Taraji out of Jersey, some cats that I had known about. And so then that's how I met Russell, because they were there and I opened up for the final pitch to Deaf Poetry that night. And that's when I finished doing my set. I went outside, Russell came outside and exchanged numbers with me. And then, 3 weeks later, I was kind of on my way to being signed to Def Jam.
Dope. So your brand of activism is clearly through your words, but are you also the type to be in the streets if the opportunity lended itself, or are you not with the...
I'm about to work. I'm definitely about to work. I don't necessarily protest and shit like that. To me, where they are necessary. Mm-hmm. For me, I like the grunt work. Let me know when y'all ready to overtake some shit, and I'm with you. Thing about protests and things like that is, you have to get permits and so on and so forth, which means you're given permission to gather, which means how much change are you really affecting when they've, so
find the terms.
I think my best fight is with what comes out of my mouth, and also educating, getting with the youth and getting with younger people and inspiring them to be the best that they can be. As cliche as it sounds, the youth is our future. So, if you plant the seed in them, I think that's more activism than you can do, writing your emotions on a piece of cardboard and stapling that cardboard to a stick and walking around City Hall like, justice for Lindsay. You're
such an asshole. But have you, in all your travels, have you had any fucked up run-ins with cops yourself that could have like ended another way?
No.
None.
In all my life, I have never had one situation with the police where I felt like my life was in danger, where I felt like they were disrespecting me or harassing me or assaulting me. I've never had that experience. And it's not to negate at all. I know plenty cats who have had that experience. And it's a very real thing. Yeah, but for me, I've never had it, but I think I credit that to my father and my grandfather and my uncles, who kind of taught me how to maneuver through the shit. There's a certain way that you can be taught how to maneuver, where this is, without question, these are the perils that await you. But if you maneuver in such a way, and that's not a kiss ass way or a tuck your chin way or none of that, just know how to maneuver, because this is what's out there waiting for you. Like prison is waiting for you. The fucked up judicial system is waiting for you. These cops that are scared of you are waiting for you to give them a reason to kill you. So this is how you operate along the path of achieving who you are.
Dope. So what is next for Black Ice? What you got coming up? What you working on?
I'm working on some big shit. I can't even say nothing about it right now, but it's.
Can't even say the little shit before the big shit.
I can say that it is my wish and my want to create something that gives spoken word artists something higher to reach toward, and something that ignites the industrial revenue of the value of spoken word artists. So that is what I've been working on. Deaf Poetry was the one show that came about that people were uncensored. I absolutely know that Stan and Russell caught a lot of heat behind allowing some of that content to be aired, but it also gave poets, aspiring masters of the art, something to reach for.
Mm-hmm.
It was, Deaf Poetry was to spoken word what Deaf Comedy was to Black comedy. There hasn't been anything since then. So I felt like it was just kind of my responsibility as one of the so-called stars of that show to carry the torch and create a platform. I'm trying to create something that if Deaf Poetry was just being created now, what would it be? I'm also about to record Russell Simmons' new book, the audio. I'm the voice of all of his audio books. Eat to Live is his new book about.
Do you use your regular talking voice, or do you have a special Russell voice you use?
No, I just use my regular talking voice.
Sounds promising. So you got to drop your socials for the listeners real quick then.
Yeah, my social media handles, and don't get mad at me if you follow me on social media, because I'm not really that engaged in that, which I know, but it's at the Legendary Black Ice on Instagram. They have the Black Ice fan page on Facebook. Twitter is Black Ice the Poet.
Thank you for listening. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here. Please be a friend. Tell a friend. Subscribe. Do something with your laugh. Catch you next week on
WTFWOTW
with Rudii Roo.